Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut and I'm joined by our team in Paris, Shormishta Guptu and Boria Mujumdar. Well, Indian contingent's Paris Olympic campaign has come to an end, and there's a lot to look back on when it comes to medals or performances or experiences itself. There's a lot to look back on. I'd like to go to Shormishta first. We haven't got much of time, to talk about how her journey has been, what her experience has been in Paris. But Shormishta, going to you first. How do you think this whole uh, Paris Olympics has been for you?
Yes, so for me, it's been, this was my first Olympics. So for me, it has been a great experience, of course, though disappointing when you expect a medal and it doesn't come. For instance, the build up that, was, and, a legitimate expectation was that Mirabai Chanu would win a medal, and I had seen her taking a medal in the Commonwealth Games. So I went to that competition imagining she would get a medal. After the first snatch round, it was Boria was telling me no, she's definitely going to get a medal, and then it was a sad disappointment. Nikhat Zareen, though, we had thought she would get a medal, but again, her draw was a bad draw. Nonetheless, she's such a, and Gargi, you also have, closely interacted with her during our conclave. So we feel quite one with her, so we were very
Yes.
disappointed. Mira has come to our conclave, very disappointed. Vinesh Fogart, heartbreaking, truly heartbreaking. But overall, but that apart, hockey. I mean, I was at the hockey game and nail biting, completely, totally full of Indian supporters, wonderful experience. So that was one of the high moments of the Olympic Games. Meeting Neeraj in person, interviewing him, total wow moment. So overall, if you cover an Olympic Games, you really have to look beyond the medals also. Just watching these athletes in action is truly a great privilege. So overall, it has been a great, for ref sports, it has been excellent coverage.
Absolutely. And it's a full house. Trisha and Abhijit have also joined us. Boria, over to you now. Apart from medals, there's a lot to look back on, your personal experiences as well, your exploration of Paris and the food, the culture. How has it all been? To take in sports plus culture, it's always such an incredible experience.
Why is it called the Olympic, the Olympic Games or Olympism? You don't call a FIFA World Cup anything like that. You don't call a cricket World Cup anything like that. The Olympics is different. The Olympics is not simply about medals won and competitions won. There is the whole cultural Olympiad. There's the whole connotation of culture to an Olympic Games. Why is the Olympic flame sacrosanct? Because it's a symbol of global peace and global harmony. You don't have that in a FIFA World Cup. You don't have that in a cricket World Cup. You will never. The Olympic Games is fundamentally different. It's a global melting pot of nations. That is why the whole Olympic solidarity program. That is why Olympic value education. That is why Olympic spirit. That is why Olympic solidarity. So it is way beyond, way beyond. I mean, Shomishta and I have come to Paris many a time in the past. Even last year, I was teaching at the Neoma Business School. Both of us were in Paris to do our recce. Paris pulled it off. Yes, there were serious issues with food and transport and all of that. But ahead of every Olympics and during every Olympics, such things happened. There was no major issue in terms of no activity which derailed it, no threat. Law and order was maintained. They pulled it off. So in that sense, in terms of food, I thought I thought there was decent offerings everywhere, multiple multicultural and all kinds of cuisine. Culturally, the metro worked, so the language was an issue, but transport wise you managed it. I mean, culturally that was an issue because people didn't understand language half the time, so you got lost. I thought the volunteer program, so if I rate it, the volunteer program was bad because the numbers weren't there. People who were there tried their best, but they wouldn't understand. Even Chinese got English in 2008. Brazilians got in 2016. Unfortunately, the locals here did not get it. So if I grade it, it was an interesting games. First time the world coming together post-COVID, 206 nations. So in that sense, it's incredible. Wherever you go, you will not be able to match the spectacle of an Olympic Games. You won't be. A cricket World Cup, anybody who's covered a cricket World Cup will, it's one match. That's what you are doing and going home. You're reporting on that particular match. There are 28 sports simultaneously going on. Are you going to go to shooting? Are you going to go to badminton? Are you going to go to wrestling? So that's why the whole Rev Sports team of 7 actually worked round the clock. For me, it is always a learning. I'm taking back a lot of learnings from these games, a lot of learnings, and I will want to implement them going forward. But overall, from the standpoint of the Indian performance, let's put it this way: it's a 50% games. India could have done better. Is it a bad games? No, because the number of fourth place, the number of people coming close, some bad verdicts. In terms of Rev Sports coverage, I would say I would give Rev Sports about 80 to 85%. I thought it was spectacular coverage. We could have improved in some areas. We could have, of course, gotten better. But overall, I'm very satisfied with the coverage that we were able to put together for our viewers with features, with breaking news, with color. I don't think any platform did color as much as we did because that's again the Olympic Games, which Shormishta was dedicatedly doing. Breaking news, exclusives, interviews, everything. I thought we as a platform did our absolute best, and I'm proud of that.
Absolutely. And Trisha, like Boria said, Olympics is unlike anything else. It's such a melting pot of culture, of, so many different types of people and sports, unlike anything else. You're under the influence of so many great personalities. You're able to go and see so many great sports persons in a single day. I think you can't do it any other day. And tell us about your personal experience being one of the senior most people in Rev Sports as well. When it comes to coverage, how did you plan that? How did it all come to?
Senior most when okay. um, but
One
yeah,
of
I think we pulled it off because we have done multi-sport for a long time. I think the best part about Rev Sports is we concentrate on multi-sport eh, throughout the year. That's important. And the other thing is the passion is so big that on days when India probably is not competing or we are done competing, Abhijit and Rohan would go to basketball, beach volleyball, and all sorts of matches. So I think that way it was easier. Boria and I would generally plan the day after India had is was almost done with their day at the games. Culturally, of course, it's beautiful because right from the opening ceremony, it was colorful, and there was blend of so many. I mean, and I think the best thing which what I like about these sporting events is you get to meet so many journalists of different countries. You get to meet people like the other day I was going on a tram and I was telling this to Arinjoy. I met a couple. It was Boria, you remember we were there for the hockey medal ceremony, and when we were leaving after the Netherlands match, so in the tram there was a couple, elderly couple. They were wearing the Netherlands jersey, so I was just congratulating them on winning gold, and they said, so uh, the man was from Netherlands and the woman was from Denmark. So they live in Denmark now, and their daughter live in US, and she had actually brought them tickets and got them to Paris just to watch the uh, final because the father, in fact, was a hockey player and a hockey passionate fan. So I was listening to them these stories, and then uh, the blending of the culture, as you said, the blending of the colors, it's beautiful. I think my first Olympic from the venue, and uh, it has just made me hopeful that in LA 2028 I will be there as well.
Abhijit, this is your second, third Olympics, but you never get tired of it. You never get tired of something like the Olympics, do you?
When I think when you're doing sports, you never get tired. And I would say this, like few nights I didn't have dinner because my stomach was full with watching the sports. That's how sports is for me. Um, but Olympics is not only about sports; it's about life as well. Uh, I wrote a piece on Victor Lindgren, who won the silver medal in the same category where Arjun Babuta lost the bronze medal. Uh, Victor is a welder back in Sweden. Imagine a welder winning a silver medal. Everyone is talking about Yusuf. That's swag thing he's doing. This is all about life. You see uh, a 58-year-old, a table tennis player from Chile. She's participating at this Olympics. How much Olympics it is, you know, gives us lessons of life. Of course, winning the athlete. I mean, when they win the medals, you see how much dedication they've given, especially the consistency. For example, Neeraj Chopra. We ask him like, what is the success of what is the secret to your success? You consistently finish on the podium. I asked him, when was the last time you were not on podium? Do you remember that? And he said, yeah, 2017 World Championship. Imagine, 2017. It's been like more than 6 years now. So this is like, Olympics is life, and whatever things you see, not only at the sport, on the field, of the field, it gives you lessons. uh, I went to the beach volleyball, and I keep doing that. Once the Indian events are over, I went to beach volleyball, and basketball as well, because you don't get to see such thing. Imagine a scene where you have Eiffel Tower in front and there's beach volleyball happening. Would you miss it? No. Uh, Day before yesterday, when Aman Sehrawat won the bronze medal, we were actually waiting for him to come to the to the interview. But there was some time, so I went again and towards the beach volleyball, because I've seen that in the day, and I have to see in the evening. So that is how it is. You have to थोड़ा सा बच्चा रहना पड़ता है as a sports के लिए. It gives you a lot of things. And there was a guy at the beach volleyball who is his name is Peter something. He's from London, and he's actually doing a painting of the event happening, a live painting. I think it must have been completed, and there's a Eiffel Tower in the background. So you see so many uh, things at the Olympics, which it's I don't know what to say. It's simply uh, fantastic. And
Indescribable.
yeah,
Yeah. Sharmishta, you've been you've been exploring France. You've learned French just for, this Paris Olympics. I don't know if you knew it beforehand as well, but I know that you made an effort to learn French as well because you wanted to help the team throughout the Olympics. But tell us about your high points when it comes to, exploring the French culture, the French food, and all of that as well.
Yes, so yes, I did. Well, I've learned French in several tranches. I first started learning when I was in school. Then obviously I, went off a few years. Then I again learned, in the interim. But what I was just telling Boria, I think the day before, that no matter how much you learn in India, when you're actually here in the midst of a French, the French culture, you learn more anyways, because you're for every day trying to converse in French, realizing where you're missing some words. And French is one of the most difficult languages because you have a gender for each and every object. And every, the verbs are all differently, so it's very complicated. So you learn much more by when you are actually in the country and in the culture. It's been hits and misses. Sometimes I'm able to communicate, sometimes not able to. But yes, knowing a bit of the language does help. Especially, I'm thinking back to the day when Rohan and I, the day of the opening ceremony, and we were, in Paris, and Paris was in a security grid like never ever. And if we were talking about volunteers, I think in the previous show, volunteers were not as many as we wanted, not English speaking. If anything was over and above what everyone wanted, that was the police. Police were everywhere throughout. And our present hotel is near, one of the venues where the TT and weightlifting and everything is happening. Police are everywhere, so they have taken security very seriously. So overall, so I'm thinking back to the day of the opening ceremony where police were everywhere and Rohan and I were on the train. Now that day, uh, it really helped to know a bit of the French. So and as for the culture, I've always enjoyed French food. This time I really enjoyed, going, for instance, Champs Elysees, Arc Triomphe, and bringing all that color to our viewers. I've really enjoyed doing that.
And Boria, we've got a super chat here.
So
Ananda
I cooked my
Subramanian is
first
saying,
fried eggs today. I generally make omelette today in the hotel. I made my
uh
first fried eggs because they were unable to do it. So I said, I'll do it. Shomishta was very kind, saying, no, no, I'll do it for you. Like yesterday, I said, no, 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 let me try. So I generally make, I cook well. I cook reasonably well. But today was my first encounter with fried eggs. I always make omelette for myself, but it was good fun. So these are little, little moments. I mean, Paris also made my fried eggs. I won't forget this.
In Birmingham, don't forget, I tried to make a good tea. So
Yeah, but
Pureza maybe
then you created havoc and the fire alarm was about to go off. So you're a
no no
disaster.
no.
I heard someone had flipped the eggs on the roof.
That is Sania Mirza. Sania Mirza will never be able to do anything. Sania Mirza did boom and the egg, and she'll say, "Arey, you're exaggerating. Rubbish." She actually did it. She, like this, and the egg went straight to the roof. Silly.
Was
She's
it
so
a forehand or backhand?
good. So good. Muscle memory. But Ananda Subramaniam is saying he has sent us a super chat. Thank you, Ananda. He's saying, could you talk about Indian women's hockey team? What is the way forward for them? Because this year has been a heartbreak.
Yes, it has. I mean, that Jharkhand match, for example, against Japan was a real heartbreak 1-0. And I do think there was a bit of politics there going on as well. Under Harinder, one expects things to improve because Harinder has been with the Indian team in the past. Someone I know very very well. Went to the US to do some coaching with the US national team. Now I met him last at the Bengaluru camp where you were with me, Gargi, you, Trisha, and that's when I met Harinder. And I think the girls will have their way up. I was having a chat with Bholanath Singh, and the facilities are there. Savita Punia will have to lead. I mean, there was a lot of disappointment with the Olympic Games, but with Savita, with some of the other girls there, uh, I think the injury to I think the injury. The collarbone injury to Vandana was a huge problem for us in that final qualifier, not having Vandana Kataria. But now with Salima Tete, with Vandana Kataria, with Savita Punia, the girls and the Pro League experience, I think the girls will make their way back. Fingers crossed for them. India needs its women's hockey team with its full glory.
And in Trisha's trip, we also have Rohan Chaudhary here, who has joined us after a very long time, actually. I think it's been many shows before we actually talked about Paris or anything. But this picture is legendary, paying an ode to Yusuf Dicker. What an
So
incredible picture.
all of them doing the shooter, huh? Good, good.
Yeah, at the moon. Rohan, tell us about your experience and, of course, how did you think the Indian contingent has performed? Are you satisfied?
What
Yes
a
and
chubira.
no, both because we saw some great performances, but some close misses really hurt, because Satvik Craig, I had high hopes from them. But Sivka Samra, actually, I had high hopes from them. But on the other side, if you see, Lakshat did really well. But again, a close miss. Swapnil Kusale came out Swapnil Kusale out of he was a surprise package. Nobody expected Swapnil to win, but yes, Swapnils are all over whichever place, whichever Swapnil you are a surprise package, and we know it better. But overall, yes, I'm really happy with the performance the hockey team gave. Was hoping for a color change of the medal. Uh, Very close game in that semi-final, but yes, really great experience at the hockey stadium and also in the athletics arena. The moment Asad Nadeem's javelin
Can we
flew,
mute Shormishta's video? That's where the echo is
Yeah.
coming from.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
the moment Arshad Nadeem's javelin took off, me and Abhijit da were looking at each other. अरे ये रुकता क्यों नहीं है? चलता ही जा रहा है. Then we were hoping कि Neeraj will cover it up, but yes, but it was a good experience waiting for Neeraj till 2:30 in the morning. It was he came out, gave two bites, went in for doping, and then again came out at 2. We were all staying there waiting till Neeraj, such a humble guy, waited for 3 a.m. in the morning after the whole uh, event, gave all the interviews, and then took selfies with everyone, then left. So it was a whole package. I really enjoyed it. France has been good for me. The food uh, is a bit tiring for me. All the croissants, I was missing luchi, luchi and all, kachori. I'm missing all those. Still a bit wait, a month's wait, but yeah, okay.
No, no, what? No, no, it won't be a month's wait. It won't be a month's wait. I'll make sure. I'll tell Vijay. In fact, he's writing to me that on the 21st, when you go to Ras, I'll make sure you get your luchi, you get all of it. We'll get it done. We'll get it done for you in Ras. Don't you worry. We will make sure you get your Indian food, proper paratha and luchi and sabji and everything in Ras. That's
Yes,
my
yes,
promise
yes.
to you on the 23rd, 24th.
I must tell you, yesterday we went to Louvre, sorry. This is what happens. Louvre,
Louvre.
and there was this marathon, local marathon was
अरे
going on,
बाप
and
रे
we were
बाप.
stuck for like about an hour, more than an hour. But I must tell you, we enjoyed our time. And then if we start like 24 hours by 7, uh, kind of a big boss on our team itself, it will be a huge hit. There's so much of funny things happen. So there's a lot of, you'll see, you'll enjoy it. We were actually had a great time yesterday at Louvre. I mean, सब कुछ हो गया था. There was nothing much to cover. So we just thought, okay, let's go to Louvre and see what. And then we couldn't went into the museum as well. So this thing, yeah.
अभिजीत वो लूव है भाई, लूवरे नहीं है. ठीक से
Louvre.
बोल. लूव है. And
Look, look.
secondly, एक serious point कर देते हैं before I forget. Shormishta, make your point, then I'll make the point. Come on.
No, I'm just going to tell Rohan and Trisha because they will be here, in France. So do make a trip to Gare du Nord station, and there Little India is laid out in front of you, and you can eat as much chicken biryani, mutton, everything that you want to eat. And for someone like me, of course, dosa. I had dosa there. Madras House,
I,
vegetarian and
I, I had
non-vegetarian.
I had chicken biryani in Saturday, but kaha
No, no,
Kolkata
no,
food
no.
biryani and kaha Kolkata.
Chateau biryani does not compare with Gardu Nord. Gardu Nord is as good as India. So do
Uh,
go there if you have the time.
yes.
And I'm telling you, Vijay's house, last time Shormishta will attest, you will get incredible Indian food. I will arrange for it on the 24th of August. Don't you worry. We will have in Ras absolute blast with some champagne. I won't drink, you all do. So don't worry. We will have a fantastic lead up to the Paralympics. But Gargi, the important point that I was trying to make, I know there's not much time for the show. It's very, very critical. The people who came for their first Olympics and did not win and had a bit of a meltdown, it is absolutely paramount importance that we protect these athletes. A Sif Samra, an Esha Singh, a Ramita Jindal, and Arjun Babuta, who came close. Sift had a bit of an Olympic meltdown.
Laksha Sen.
We Laksha still okay. I mean, at least sort of think of Saurabh Chaudhary and you will know what I'm talking about. Saurabh Chaudhary was considered invincible. And then because of the Olympic meltdown in Japan where he did not win, he had a complete mental issue. And he said, "मेरे से घोड़ा दबता नहीं है." He's one of those athletes who we lost. This is why I insist that our coaches, our system, our government, our tops, our MOC, our SAI protect these athletes like Sift and Esha and Ramita and Arjun because these are enormous talents. And because of the first time Olympic experience, which may have scarred them, we wanted an Esha to win, a Sift to win, and they did not do well. We don't want to have another Saurabh Chaudhary case because the Saurabh Chaudhary case is right in front of me. I mean, Abhijit was there with me in Tokyo. We would stand behind him, and he's an outstanding shooter. We lost him because of this mental issue, and he did not win an Olympic medal. And we had built him up as this invincible champion. This should not happen to another young athlete, and it is our collective responsibility to protect them. This is why mental conditioning is as important.
Yes, Sharmishta, yes, I think you have a point to make.
Yes, I was going to actually say the same thing because I was standing in the mix zone after Neeraj Chopra's qualifier, and athletes of different countries were coming in to give their bites. And since this is my first Olympics, and I remember thinking, and I was telling someone also that my God, how young some of them are. I mean, some of them are as young as 15, 16. They look really young, and some of them were looking quite lost. And these, I'm sure, were the people who had not fared as well as they were supposed to fare, and they were like looking really lost, walking about, in a very self-conscious way. So I think these are the, youngsters that we really need to protect. So far as our country is concerned, I could only talk about India. So yes, that's very relevant. Again, I remember when one day we were in India House, and there was some of the athletes, like the shooters mainly, were supposed to be there, and of the shooters, Ella and I think, yeah, Ramita were there. And I asked a question to both of them, and this was just after Manu had won her second medal. So, obviously, I was asking them about the general shooting trajectory here on. But you could see these two girls were very self conscious, because you always have that feeling, okay, my cohort, my compatriot is this big star now, and I had the potential and I couldn't do it. This is what we have all felt, after exams or after some performance or the other. And Ramita, for instance, she smiled, but she gave me a reply in one sentence. And so, I could feel that, she's not in her best moment. So I really think you need to stay with them instead of saying, oh, she couldn't even speak. I've heard so many journalists murmuring, oh, kya kuch bola hi nahi. So you have to appreciate these are really young people. They need our support.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right that when you put these athletes on a pedestal, you also need to ensure that you're giving them a safe way down as well if they fail or if they face any hurdles. But I know you guys have some work to get to as well, so we'll close this show with a few super chats that have come in. Mahendra Singh Dhoni is, is saying India finished below Uganda, Guatemala, Ethiopia, Pakistan. Boria sir, Mohendra Singh Dhoni is joining us. Uh, okay. India finished below Uganda, Guatemala, Ethiopia, Pakistan. 40 gold medal in a single tournament. India will have to wait at least a year to complete.
A light year to compete.
Oh,
When
light
India
year.
comes, listen. When India comes below Pakistan in a even an Asia Cup, what do you say? In 2021 in cricket, India did not even make it to the final of an 8-team tournament. In a 2022 World Cup, India did not even make it past the semi-final. Pakistan went on to make the final. Did you say anything like this then? You did not. You are saying this because Arshad Nadeem won the gold. Olympic Games is different, my friend. It's different. Olympic Games is about heartbreaks. Ask Abhinav Bindra. Stay with the team. If I have seen some headlines which have said that we have spent 7 crores on Neeraj and 7 lakhs on Aman. Neeraj got a silver, Aman got a bronze. How is it possible? Now, if that is the culture that we want to breed in our country, then God save Indian sport is all I will say. I mean, you are calling yourself Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Why don't you learn a bit from Mahendra Singh Dhoni? The the way he has sort of done sport for himself and his teams, all about team. The way he backed Ruturaj Gaikwad when he was at his lowest. Why don't you back your athletes when they are at their lowest? When Chennai Super Kings came last the next year, they came back and won under MS Dhoni. Why don't you take that lesson from MS Dhoni for a change and back your athletes? If you do that, trust me, the name that you've taken will be justified.
Absolutely. One more super chat. Piyush Tiwari, thank you for sending us a super chat. Boriada, where is Coach Fulton? Not seeing him anywhere in the media. He played a great role. Now India is not playing for gallery, rather playing as a team. Please interview with Craig
I
Fulton.
think I think
He
I just
did, he
like to
did.
clear we were the first media house in the entire India. When Craig Fulton became the head coach of India, I was there in the London for covering the FIH when we did his interview. We were the first one. We also did his interview during the after we won the bronze medal. So I think we have done everything. We have done Shivendra Singh. We have done every players that were available, even from the Bureda spoke to Harmanpreet Singh, the captain. उनका किसी ने इंटरव्यू किया था Bureda did that. Even Bolanath, who is
No,
the
I spoke to Craig also. I'll put it on record. I spoke to Craig because Craig and I are on WhatsApp. Pretty regular messaging happens. And I kept updating you about Craig Fulton when he said to me about Amit Rohidas when I said we will miss Amit Rohidas in the semi-final, and he said, "But at least we will have 11 people. Why are you worried?" So that's
Yeah.
the mentality of Craig Fulton, and I broke this news on air. Craig and I are friends. Even after winning, we had a long chat. He's supposed to, and I'm saying it on air, he's supposed to give me one of his jerseys. So yeah, I mean, there is no question. There is no question that Craig needs to be celebrated. One of those unassuming coaches wants to play the back room very much like Gary Kirsten, same country. That's why the Paddy Upton influence. That is why the Mike Horn influence. And Craig Fulton, as Bholanath Singh has already said, will stay on till 2028. So delighted for that.
Absolutely. And I think we can wrap up the show with this, unless any of you have anything to say. No? You're on mute, Boria.
Just the
I think we are done, and Rohan and Trisha will have some good travel around France. I wish them the very best because this is their time to explore and build up for the Paralympics. But this is their opportunity to explore Europe. I hope they have a good time. Shormishta, myself, Abhijit, Orange, Kannan, we will all be heading back to India tomorrow, and then I will make my way back here again in 10 days' time. So, and join with Rohan and Trisha, and we will start the Paralympics campaign.
just like to update, the final medal tally has completed. USA with 126 medals at the top with 40 gold medals. I'm surprised by, I mean, China, of course, I was expecting second. Japan is at number three with 45 medals and 20 golds.
So what does
Australia,
that tell you? What does that
sorry?
tell you, Abhijit? What does that tell you? It tells you how good the Asian standard is. China and
Yep,
Japan,
yep.
number two
Japan.
and three.
Japan
So when
was
you
like,
go and do well in the Asian Games, think
yep,
how high the standard is.
yep.
And Korea is
I
also
was,
in the top 10.
yeah, I mean, China, I can understand second, but Japan has done significantly well in from the past Olympics.
And no, one
I
second,
would
one
not
second,
expect.
1 second. Why? What is the sociological answer? Don't say I'm surprised. Why? The answer is they hosted Tokyo. So
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time
yeah,
you host
yep,
a games,
yep,
when
yep,
England
yep.
wins one gold medal in '96, then England goes on to win 29 in 2012, and then follows it up with 30 in Rio.
And
Why? That is the London Olympics hosting effect. This is the Tokyo
that's
hosting effect.
that's
That's
how
what
we,
happens
yeah,
sociologically when a country does sport like
that's how
this.
we won six medal at the London when we hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2010.
Okay. So, on that note, I think we can end this show. There's a lot.
We can
Yeah.
confirm to our viewers that the final submission in the Vinesh Fogart case is now complete. Just now, 2 minutes back. The final submissions in the Vinesh Fogart case is now done. The only thing that we will have to do now is wait for the verdict on the 13th at 6 p.m. Trisha and Rohan Chaudhary will bring it to us straight from Paris.
Well, there's still a verdict to look forward to when it comes to this Olympics. So it's not really over until that verdict is out. And we'll be giving you all the updates. Rohan, Trisha are there in Paris still. So they'll be giving us all the on ground updates. And well, we also have the Paralympics to look forward to. So stay tuned to Rev Sports and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can